Welcome to a Legendarium special about Artemis, the Greek goddess of the hunt. In this episode, we will learn about the goddess who ruled as mistress of animals and queen of the hunt. The ancient Greek goddess Artemis became many things to many people: huntress, virgin, midwife, twin, and protector. Yet her image has been remarkably consistent, a goddess of the hunt who ruled over wild beasts and roamed the mountains and forests with a great force of nymphs. In particular, the Greeks imagined her riding a chariot drawn by 4 stags with golden antlers and carrying a bow made by Hephaestus, the god of smiths. Most likely, Artemis came to the ancient Greeks from Persia. In this earlier version, Persians depicted Artemis as a fertility goddess with many breasts and attended by eunuch priests. Plato described Artemis's name as meaning unharmed or pure. Classical literature provides only a few brief descriptions of Artemis's appearance. In them, she is depicted as a tall, young woman, always carrying a bow and walking alongside a stag, doe, or hunting dog. Typically, she wears a knee-high tunic. A cloak, or sometimes a deer pelt, is draped over her shoulders, and the goddess often wears a headband or animal pelt cap. However, the mistress of animals demanded respect and would seek revenge if slighted. Temples and sanctuaries to Artemis dotted ancient Greece, often built alongside lakes and rivers. Other sites featured sacred wells believed to have magical or healing powers. At these temples, maidens danced as if tree or water nymphs, following Artemis across her wild domain. Over time, sacrifices of boars, dogs, and stags, along with frenzied rituals, became central to the Artemis cult. Yet priests and priestesses of Artemis remained unmarried and pure, with dire punishments for those that broke their vows. As a goddess of chastity and childbirth, Artemis served as the patron of young women, especially brides-to-be. They dedicated and burned their childhood toys to Artemis to mark their transition into adulthood and marriage. In mythology, Artemis is the daughter of Zeus and Leto, one of 26 children born to the famously fruitful couple. Born in Ephesus, which is located in western Turkey, Artemis is the twin sister of the god Apollo. At the age of 3, Artemis's father Zeus sat her on his lap and asked her what gifts she would like. Artemis specifically asked for everlasting virginity, a saffron hunting tunic, a following of 60 water nymphs, and hunting hounds. Young Artemis even said that she did not care for having a city named after her, for she wished to pass her time in the mountains. In a private household, a family looked to the goddess Artemis for help with farming and livestock. People thought that a happy Artemis would bless them with fertile land, bountiful harvests, and healthy animals. Those who displeased Artemis, on the other hand, would be cursed with poor crops and dead livestock. Artemis appeared in one Greek myth about a woman named Leto, one of Zeus's many human girlfriends. Of course, Zeus impregnates her, and Zeus's jealous wife Hera forbade Leto from giving birth on solid ground. Fortunately, Apollo and his sister Artemis helped their mother bring their half-siblings into the world by perching Leto in the branches of an olive tree located on the floating island of Delos, thus getting around Hera's curse. After this, Artemis and Apollo became revered as fierce protectors of mothers. The most popular Artemis stories stress her violent reactions to men trying to take her virginity. For example, the giant Orion, Artemis's hunting partner and possibly the only man she ever loved, tried to act on his desire for her by removing her robe. There are several different versions of the story about how Artemis dealt with Orion, and none of them ended well for the giant. One version claims that Artemis simply killed him. Another claims that the earth goddess Gaia, Artemis's grandmother, sent a scorpion to kill Orion. A third claims that Apollo jealously tried to protect his sister and killed Orion. Yet all versions say that Artemis became deeply saddened by Orion's death after the fact, and she placed him among the stars, thus creating the constellation Orion. Another story involved a hunter named Actaeon who saw Artemis bathing in a spring. Artemis punished Actaeon by turning him into a stag, and his hunting dogs then tore him to pieces like he trained them. When a boy named Cyproetes accidentally saw Artemis unclothed, she turned him into a girl. This story points to the deep misogyny in ancient Greek culture. This obsession with virginity extended to the nymphs who followed Artemis. One of their number, Callisto, gave birth to a boy named Arcas after a dalliance with a mortal man. As punishment, Artemis connived with her mother Hera to turn the nymph into a bear, and then she hunted Callisto in her bear form. However, Father Zeus stepped in and sent Callisto and Arcas into the heavens, where they became the constellations Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. It seems we have Artemis to thank for many of the constellations we have in the night sky. Just as she punished transgressors of sacred vows, Artemis rewarded those who kept them. To devote himself to a chaste life, Hippolytus scorned the love goddess Aphrodite, after which she made his mother fall in love with him. This set in motion a chain of events that led to Hippolytus's death. However, Artemis called upon Asclepius and resurrected Hippolytus as a new man and made him king of a small kingdom in southern Italy. That wraps things up for this episode of The Legendarium. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, press like. If you want to see more, press subscribe. And if you've got anything to say, let me know in the comments section. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day.